Morning folks, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, I surely appreciate your support. We are out here on the farm this morning here in central Kentucky, and we are going to talk about, this is episode 3, season 1, episode 3 of Built by Whitetails. Yep, I've got the hat on this morning and it's warming up quick, but boy, she was cold this morning. Perfect day, perfect Sunday to be out here closer to the Lord, and out here on a Sunday building this. What I'm looking at, guys, what I'm going to be talking to you about today is doing some edge feathering and finishing off a doe bedding area that we did last year. So the first 2 episodes were down on the south end of the farm, creating and extracting some doe or some cedars to make doe bedding. Today we're going to show you one that we're hoping to make that look like that we created last year on the north end. Come along with us, guys. So we are here on the north end of the farm today, and what we've got going, guys, I'm going to show you here. This is a project that we started last year. This had some logging to be done. The first 2 episodes, like I said, guys, are on the south end of the farm where we're extracting mature. We are doing some cedar extraction, right, taking that mature cedar out. This spot here was kind of a combination of both. What it had is it had some walnut in it, so I couldn't do a lot with it last year until the logging got done. I did mulch in the transition, used it so you know how we needed it, hunted real well. But what I did is I waited till the logging was done, came in and extracted. So in this doe bedding right here behind me, guys, the best way to explain it with you, this doe bedding right here, the food plot is right up here. You can see the end of the food plot, it runs back that way. It's just a little, it's like, I guess you could almost call it a shot plot. It's like 2 tenths or 3 tenths, right? And long linear plot, secluded. And what I've done is I went in here, waited till the logs were out, like I said, and then we extracted, you know, about 50% of the cedar. You can see that I've got one behind me here. There's 2 or 3 smaller ones down in there. A really good, what I feel is a good combination. Now, if we were farther north, you know, if I was doing this project, let's say up there where I'm originally from in Michigan, maybe I would have left a little more cedar, right? So it's all about thermal cover. If you have it, don't take it away, because if you take it away, you just got to replant it, right? So what I wanted to show you today, guys, is this. This is what we are looking to make that doe bedding on the south side look, you know. So I kind of pulled you away from that project to show you to jumpstart and go ahead while we're waiting to get those cedars skid out of there, pulled out of there. But this is what next year's look on that south end is going to be. I'm going to flip you around here, guys. I'm going to take you for a walk. I'm going to show you what I just finished today, and the reason that I did that. I'm going to show you the look of this, of what we gained with Forbes and Forages by letting the sunlight in. All right, so first of all, guys, this is right down there is the waterhole. You can actually see the blind that my nephew killed his buck out of right up here. We call it size blind, my son's blind. The waterhole's right there. Atlas come out of the bottom, come into it. But this leg of it right here, guys, you can see this is the transition. You can see the sign on that. Now that was mulched out last year, so, or 2 years ago. So, you know, that tells you kind of the regeneration look that you want on your transition, right? You know, nice edge. We've got some, you know, this has kind of got a blocker over here because of the road. You can see, actually, I don't know, car going by up there, you can probably see just the top of it. So we left the visual screen of the cedar up there and stuff. But that right there, guys, is what this looked like. To be honest with you, more of this. That's what that looked like. Choked off, everything over silver dollar size, no out of the over their head reach, no value to it as far as deer, right? A couple of beds in there, not many. This is the line. So less habitat to the outside, more habitat to the core. Transitions right on that line, right? Your access, doe bedding, right? So that transition comes up. You can see a hinge cut here that we fell into it after I got the cedars extracted. previous year before, guys, I just took the transition out into the food plot, and then I brought it back out of the end of the food plot down there, right in front of a stand, and went down. Now I've got this built, what I'm doing is, this is the video, this is the spot that I've done some videos in the past on the whiteboard explaining, having that right cruising mentality past. So what you can see, guys, is I've done is this year, I had one of these done, but I just did a couple more. Osage orange makes a great screen, a edge feathering, if you will, that you hear of. So before, you have this look, and this is one of my corridors. So this look was all the way through here, right? Now you can see at deer head height, I'm 6'6", but at deer head height, now we're dealing with this level, right? So before, even though that corridor is open and we like to perforate these doe beddings, what you can see is now moving at doe head height or deer head height in here, how secluded that is. More of a soft edge, right? Osage orange, remember that, guys? Osage orange does you no good in the air, other than they do eat the hedge ball once in a while. But it's so woolly. It's such a broad crown top that, boy, it makes some natural, really cool screening. So I'll show you this right here, right where the saw is, guys. This is the transition. Now, I just cut this out with the saw. I haven't mulched this part of it in yet, and you can see how much they're using it, right? So it doesn't take much to, I guess, that steer, right? So as we look back, so we are looking south, and I'm looking into the doe bedding. So this, you can see, guys, there's, one bed there, there's one in here. I mean, this thing is just peppered. There's 2 or 3 hinge cuts that I did. You can see cedar extraction. Cedar extraction, got the logs out of it, got the big log out of it first and foremost, so you don't do hinge cutting or do bedding work and then crush it, right? So take the big timber out first, if there is any. Extract 50% of your cedar, if there is any. Don't take all of it, and then hinge, as much as you need to put some structure on the ground. This year, I'm actually going to divide this in half, so there's going to be a corridor coming through to the back side of it, and there's going to be 2 cubicles here. I just want to make it better so you can visually see that. So come along with me, guys. We're going to walk down through here. So now you can see transition right here, stand in that big cedar right there. I've got a primal ladder stand, that's big cedar right there. Before, I had to do some tweaking. Before, when I first got here, it was in that yellow locust behind it. It was too close to the food plot, and it wasn't, I had to do it that way to hunt it, but it wasn't what I wanted in the long term. Wasn't the way that I had it designed. So now it's in the big cedar, got plenty of cover. We moved the transition down here now, another 10 yards. You can see the orange and white ribbon right there. That's actually going to be the licking branch, 22 yards to the sand. Transition comes up here, goes right there, and it's got kind of just a nice sweep. Goes right back to the original mulch transition, comes right up through here. So when the wind is good for him, we're hunting this on a south wind, stands here, wind is good for us, it's good for him, no matter if he's going east or going west. Right here, wind's at the side of his face coming out of this doe bedding. This inside corner gets a lot of action. A lot of the action coming back from the ag, my ag up top, and my neighbor's ag across the road. A lot of that, action coming back in here. So this is the look, guys. I'll walk you down through here. This is the look on the doe bedding side. Just, not a tornado effect. Scattered, hinge cuts in here. Laid down. Plenty of maneuverability. Like I said, about right where we're at right here, there's going to be actually, you can see, I'll spin you around here, guys. This is one of the corridors that goes out to the food plot. So every 20 yards along your food plot, always remember, either hand cut it out or mulch, just one width wide, 6 foot wide, 5 foot wide, mulch a corridor in here. So we're going to split this in half. So it's cubicle, snake trail through here with a corridor, cubicle. It's not very big, so I just got 2. The bigger it is, the more cubicles you got. So, I mean, right in there, there's 3 beds I can see right here without even walking down in there. So, it's very diverse. And, I've got the edge screening. That's the old mulch transition that we laid some trees in. That's not a hinge cut. The stand is there. That's a dead, I cut it. It's up off the ground a little bit because I wanted the top there. Always remember, no hinge cuts. Like we said, too close to the stand, that's a blocker. It's just shut off the mulch transition. But now you can get back in here and look, guys, these Osage orange, look how great of a natural screening, just that soft edge feathering that they create. I wish I had, Osage orange the entire way around my food plot edges, because that's exactly the look you can get, so you tip them towards the field. Hopefully, like there, I had to cut the top of one of them off just a little bit, so it's not out in my food plot very far. So we transfer through here. Regeneration, I'm often asked, what does the regeneration need to look like on your transition? This is what you want your transition to look like. The theory of this is, guys, is when you can stand here, you can see the transition. That's the old leg of it. I'm actually putting it in here, and then, getting a nice natural sweep to it. But this is the look of your transition. If you can stand and look at your transition or your corridor, if you are looking at that, trying to find it, and you look at your corridor or your transition, and it's like, where is it? Is it there? Is it here? It's time to mulch it. Here in Kentucky, that might be every 2 years. Up in Michigan and Midwest, that might be every 3 to 5 years. Longer growing season. Down south, you probably got to mulch it every year, and it would, but well, I'm not talking, 30 feet wide. We're talking 6 or 8 feet wide. You've heard me talk about opening your transition 30 feet wide, in the past. And what that is in big timber that's not ready to log, that's a good way to, hack and squirt or log or kill cut those trees in that 30-foot swath, let's say, for your transition to let that down in. Once that's done, then you go back, you relate back to just mulching a nice 5 to 6 feet, wide snake trail, one mulcher width wide. Biggest thing is here, guys, I wanted to show you nice soft edge. Use what you have. I don't ever recommend high hinge cuts, but in this theory, that hinge cut's probably about 6 feet. And the reason is they don't stump jump 90% of the time because they're real stringy, and you want that top to lay down more of a visual block, not of a food. We're not looking for food out of that Osage orange. We're higher. Use caution, guys, when you do that, because I'm not saying high hinge cut, because they're, you don't want high hinge cuts in your, you can see the difference, right? This one's only about 4 foot. That one's probably 6 foot. This one here, I hinge cut a little bit higher just to get the visual. But in here, they're right, down belt height in the doe bedding. Higher hinge cuts to the outside to get this visual block, the soft edge. Lower hinge cuts in the center for your doe bedding. Every one of them is going to be different, because every one of them, I'll show you a picture. And we'll do some more videos on that. But I'm helping my neighbor put his together. He's got a couple 100 acres across the road. We cut in a bedding area over there for him on one of his food plots the other day, and that is all timber, right? All 6, 8, 10 inch trees, perfect, all hardwood, and very little understory. He had it logged, and that's what was left, so we put a bunch of hinges down. It's beautiful bedding area, not too thick, not too nasty, something you can maintain. And so that's all hardwood, right? He has like 2 or 3 cedars in like a half-acre doe bedding area. So everyone's going to be different. The goal is, you got little new woody regeneration all in here, and the grass. They're not a grass eater a lot of the times, but there's weeds and Forbes and Forages and everything else in there. And this, guys, this wasn't done in here until I think I made some of my last hinge cuts. I remember, it was pretty hot. So, I'm thinking it was like probably June or something if we look back. So this is just one year of regeneration. You can see some regen right here. Any invasives, they just kill cut. And then, like this here, this was this is an old walnut, or a walnut that the, logger actually took. Pretty small, but he did take it. And, look at the regeneration. All of that is chewed on. All of this, all the way around this thing is chewed on. So adding food, thermal cover, Forbes and Forages, letting the daylight in, a little bit of saw work, a little bit of mindset of what direction you're going, this is what we want that one on the other end to look like, guys. Like I said, just giving you, you know, kind of an outlook here. Another piece of the Built by Whitetail series, and we're gonna get the saw and get back to work, and probably gonna do some more saw work here today, and then I'm probably gonna meet up with a neighbor, and now that I've got that finished and designed, we're gonna, you know, do some work over there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it.